So still on manifestos and what, each candidate is saying. So we have here, Mahama must understand banking sector cleanup before commenting. And that's by the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Bawumia. So I'm going to read a little article from citynewsroom.com. The flag bearer of the NPP has criticized the National Democratic Congress flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, over his promise to restore the licenses of some collapsed financial institutions. Mahama, during the launch of the NDC's manifesto at Winneba, promised to restore the licenses of financial institutions that he said were unjustly collapsed by the NPP government. However, in the media engagement, Dr. Bawumia expressed surprise at Mahama's stance, stating that the NPP's actions saved the deposits of 4.6 million bank customers who would have lost their funds in the banks and if the banks had not intervened. He explained that some banks had engaged in ingracious practices such as extending loans beyond legal limits, misusing capital, and investing in private property. Dr. Bawumia emphasized that the banking sector was on the brink of collapse and necessitating the merger of some banks to prevent a systematic crisis. He advised Mahama to read the reports of the receiver and the Bank of Ghana to understand the situation before making further comments. We saved the deposits of 4.6 million bank depositors who really were going to lose their deposits if those banks were not saved. I don't understand whether the former president had taken his time to understand the banking sector. Some outrageous things, and this is why these banks had to be saved. They were not collapsed. They were merged into banks and not banking. Depositor lost one cedi. Everybody maintained. But very bad things happened. Some of the banks broke all the rules and extended loans way above the single obligor limits. And yeah, the article continues there. But I would like to ask you, Laura, too. Now, how does the NPP actually justify the economic impact of the banking sector reformed? Especially for the ordinary Ghanaian that does not understand all this that is going on.
Chris, it's not about justifying the banking crisis. It's not about saying it made a huge impact in the lives of young, relatively young bankers. That one, nobody denies that fact. It was a tough decision to take, as against losing people's deposits and salvaging the situation, as against keep throwing money at the problem rather than solving it like our compatriots did. If anybody is old enough or has thought to go back, I don't know if Piram rings a bell. It was a bank that ran away with people. So on the back of that, but in the spirit of reading, so there was a story you did in City Online, did on August 28, 2019. That's not the first time His Excellency the Vice President and the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party now is explaining to the former president how we got to where we got to. Then I'll just read a quote that you did because it's your story. So, and I quote, "Instead of explaining to the good people of Ghana how his government pretended over outright regulatory failure and cronyism, which led to the biggest financial crisis ever in Ghana, he chooses, as is characteristic of him, to rewrite history. The good people of this Ghana are, however, not as gullible and ignorant as he likes to believe. And we do not all have short memories." This is a president at the crunch of it, at the crunch of crisis in a country, was bold enough, didn't care, and told us that he had acquired a dead goat syndrome. this was a president who told us that all the meat has been eaten, it's left with bones. Right. This was a president who was giving money to the banks when you needed to strengthen regulations. And maybe they haven't seen the release of Bank of Ghana on this government's, or when they consolidated the banks just to salvage the deposits of 4.6 million Ghanaians. Ghanaians, they had earned money. Okay, are you going to think about what the owners of the bank are going to earn, or you're going to think about the citizens whose hard-earned money were deposits in those banks? It was a difficult situation, but what do you take?
Right.
You get it? So that's the approach to problem solving. It's not about just saying that someone, what did you do about it as president? You threw money at it. Taxpayers' money. Did it solve the problem? No. He knew. He himself, and I'm trying to get that story, he himself attributed to the fact that those banks would have collapsed. We're on the verge of collapsing.
All right.
Those are facts. Those are verifiable facts. So if we sit here in 2024, when we need to deal with cost of living, when we need to do with job, look, when His Excellency, the Vice President, moved around, he just didn't sit in his bedroom to put together his manifesto. He went round and spoke to Ghanaians, various sections of Ghanaians, imams, pastors, market women, business women, chiefs, queen mothers, and all that. And the top three, which he indicated in Takoradi when we were launching our manifesto, were three: cost of living, unemployment, and roads.
Right. Okay.
And those are what our issues are. Gone are the days that you just go and sit down and say anything you want to say. Now they are going to come and review free SHS. What happened? They are going to do what? Give loans to tertiary students. Even that one they couldn't explain. Someone said it's loan. Someone said technical universities are not part of it and all that. The coherency is not even there.
All right, so let's talk to Naa. I'm sure the NDC is also doing their work on grounds for them to come up with this promises. But now, looking at the promises of restoring banks, do you think is actually realistic? And do you think it can be delivered during the time frame that...
You see, if Lorato and the NPP, led by Dr. Bawumia, tell all the lies today, which lie will they get to tell tomorrow? Because that's what they are known for. Let's contextualize the question you asked, the banking sector cleanup. Now, you see, textbook economics will not suffice this time around. Lectures at Central University, download my lecture here. We have seen Shege that was not the solution. And I repeat, Dr. Bawumia was packaged to us for what he is not.
And how was it packaged to us for what he's not?
He was packaged to us as economic messiah, coming to stabilize the economy. And when he comes, the price of kenke then, that was 2 cedis, will return to 1 cedi. The exchange rate, that was 4 cedi, 20 pesos, that they termed as incompetence. Yeah. Today, the exchange rate is 16 cedis. 16 cedis to $1. If that is not incompetence pro max, I don't know. Now, come with me. Let me tell you what the NPP told us during the banking sector cleanup. And Lorato said that he will give us the story where President Mahama said the banks will collapse. I'm waiting for that story. She should read that story before we leave here. When they diagnosed the problem, according to what Lorato is saying, the receiver says that the banking sector challenge was a 9 billion cedi problem, which they admitted.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward, the NPP that says they are better managers of the economy. We have the men, and they use 25 billion to solve a 9 billion problem. Wisdom is calling, NPP will not listen. How do you use 25 billion to solve a 9 billion problem? And you have the gut this morning to come and sit here and say that what? And then she was saying to salvage the situation. You salvage a 9 billion problem with a 25 billion taxpayers' money, and you want to be on the ballot paper for us to vote for you again? You are saying that what? And then the approach that President Mahama, what was your approach? What was the NPP's approach? If this is the approach, then like Esla also said, her 19-year-old son can run the economy. So they should go for the 19-year-olds. Because the 50-year-olds they have, heading the economic management team, they've become stammerers. And some sleep when they ask questions. When the media puts them to check, anything I'm not aware, anything I don't know, they are not aware. And this morning, I'm for Loratu. If their flag bearer is not aware, why would she be aware that after diagnosing a 9 billion cedis problem, you use 25 billion to solve that problem? What is the wisdom in that? Now, did they say that no depositor lost their money and the bank was not? Did I hear that right? Recently, during the town hall meetings, the finance minister said the president has released some 1.2 billion for people who lost their. Go and check that story. A simple Google check on check on your own ChannelOne news would give you. If people didn't lose their savings, why are you saying that you are disbursing money? She didn't even address the issues of people who lost their jobs. And this morning, the assurance to the numerous people in the banking sector, not only tellers, people who were selling food at vantage places, people who were taking all those people. President Mahama says, when he comes to power, God willing, he would initiate a forensic audit. What is wrong with that? President Mahama didn't just say that when I come, I'm restoring the licenses of the banks that you have collapsed. He says that we will revisit the matter. Because, of course, lives of people are at stake. We are talking about taxpayers' money. They are afraid because you have used 25 billion to solve a 9 billion problem. We will recover all the loot. And that one, it will be ruthless. It is not a threat. It is a promise to the NPP that their reckless spending, even during this banking sector, and today, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says President Mahama should not comment on the banking sector cleanup. Please, he should spare us the stammering. Did he say this the same night when he was stammering? Did he say this the same night when his running mate was sleeping? When he's not aware that the cocoa sector is grinding to a halt? He's not aware of anything. The only thing he's aware is that President Mahama is alive. President Mahama is going on a campaign trail. President Mahama has received the promise of the good people of Ghana that they are bringing him back to reset the country. That's the only thing that he's aware of as flag bearer of the NPP. He's not aware of anything again. Now, what is the wisdom when you as a government, your books are bad, and then you tell Ghanaians, we beg you, engage us in a domestic exchange program. Let's defer some of your payments. When your books are bad, you beg us that help us. When the books of banks are bad, you want to collapse. This is what I say, that the NPP thinks that they are more Ghanaian than anybody. When your books are bad, you think that, help me, domestic debt exchange, bond holders. So the fact that you take the aged to the early grave. When President Naa Atswei Nee-Okpey was sworn in, he told the aged that I will protect you. Is this the kind of protection?
Okay. So
is this the kind of protection? The assurance to the NPP is that President Mahama would initiate an audit into how they use 25 billion to solve a 9 billion cedis banking sector cleanup.
Right. Okay, so before we wrap up, I just want to ask you that, obviously, if President Mahama comes into power, right, he will have 4 years to rule. Do you think that the restoration of this bank can actually be done within that 4 years, especially for the fact it still has to go through the legal systems?
I'm not sure you are in this country and you know what President Mahama did in 4 years. In just 4 years, the Temaport expansion. In just 4 years, the University of Ghana Medical Hospital. In just 4 years, the 420 Greater Accra Regional Hospital, what is called Rich Hospital. In 4 years, Kejetia Market, Kotokraba Market. This 4 years, but it is constitutional. The Constitution just gives you 4 years to start with. And if the good people of Ghana so think that you deserve a second term, they give you. And so President Dr. Bawumia saying that he would be what, a tier rubber president. President Mahama will be a 4 years. Why are we voting for him to come to power into power for 8 years continuous? They don't know common constitution that you are giving just 4 years. It is, please, that question is a non-starter. Don't let us even go there.
Why?
What I'm saying is that President Mahamad's legacy
so I'm asking the questions
in 4 years,
people want to know
a basic constitution. What I'm saying is that the constitution gives the president a 4-year term.
Okay.
And so it is a no-brainer. It is a non-starter for the NPP and their communicators and their flag bearer to say that President Mahama has 4 years. And I'm asking, are we giving, when we vote, God forbid about Mia presidency, are we giving them 7 years continuous? No, it's a 4-year term. And so it is because a current 4 years is elapsing, that is why Dr. Bawumia is back to us. So please, if their math is bad, not on this platform.
Right. Laura, so any final words from you?
Final words. Interesting. Yeah. You know, governance is not about shouting. It's not about being emotional. You need a cool
The most emotional person in this country is Dr. Bawumia.
You need a clear head to be able to take decisions, especially in crisis situations. It's not for the fun of it that economists, whenever they propose something or institute something, will say ceteris paribus proviso, every other thing being equal. So if you don't have the emotional intelligence, you don't have the clear head, you don't have that emotional stability, emotional awareness to have a clear head, and it's all about what someone has done, what something. And look, if we want to go into these details, but when it comes to the banking crisis, go to the former president's 2016 SONA, where he stated from the Bank of Ghana that supervision and regulation practices is what was affecting the banking crisis. Probably he wouldn't have collapsed it, but was throwing money to the banks. That doesn't mean she wasn't listening. It's unfortunate that people have to lose their jobs, but you having at the back of your mind that you put other measures in place, put basics in place, put together policies that will create jobs for people, alternative livelihoods for people. That is what we are talking about. How many times when she was talking did she mention Dr. Bawumia's name? They are so scared of him because the man is, even when Dr. Bawumia is responding to a criticism, the sheer calmness. It's not about throwing tantrums that someone went to meet media after you launch your manifesto. If you really believe that what you have in your manifesto is something that Ghanaians should have versed their mind to, they wouldn't be talking about someone's media encounter. When the person launched his manifesto a couple of weeks back. So what we are saying to Ghanaians is that, yes, we have challenges. Dr. Bawumia has never shied away from it. And anybody who thinks they understand governance, and in this era, 2024, when digitalization is running everything, when systems are running everything, when we are in the 4th industrial revolution, when even other commissions have started demarcating the 5th industrial revolution, and you think that an economist should not be in love with digitalization, then you are living in 1992. You are not living in 2024. Look, when we say the alternative, look, we can come here and run a whole litany. By 7 December, let's even say when there's a swearing in of president on the 7th of January, from 1992, NDC would have done 16 years. NPP would have done 16 years. Let's compare the records. That is what our compatriots are running for, because they have no record to show.
Okay. All right.
Now, of course, I should have my time to rebut, because she had her
your
time.
Final words.
Now, my final words to the good people of Ghana is that don't forget that Dr. Bawumia has been packaged to us. I told you. And I will see.
They can't do anything.
Of course, and you also can't do anything. It is because he is back to tell us, he's back to tell us that when it is good, when it is a credit, he will take it. But he should never, the consultants who are advising them that, hey, detach yourself for all the problems you have created. They should go back for their money from their consultant. Let me assure the good people of Ghana that President, I didn't interject when you were talking, that when President Mahama comes to power, by the grace of God and with the nod of the good people of Ghana, he says, Operation Recover All the Loot. That is a promise, not a threat.
We'll start with Maslock.
Now, let Ghanaians also be aware that President John Dramani Mahama has said that there will be no e-levy. The e-levy they imposed on us against every resistance, and they claim they are listening government. How dare the NPP
Chris, we'll start
say
with Maslock.
that they are listening government?
How many NPP
when you are
officials
can we extend to ourselves some level of decorum and respect? What I'm saying is that e-levy, President John Dramani Mahama says he would cancel e-levy. He would abolish it. President John Dramani Mahama is assuring the investors
so she has something to say about what
the 10% tax
will do.
on bet winnings and lotteries,
nice.
He would cancel it. When they win, the money is for them to spend. No government will put meddle in the affairs of their winnings. President John Dramani Mahama says,
time talking about Dr.
see, Mahama Cares is coming.
Wow, that's nice.
And then that will take care of cancers, that will take care of other very chronic diseases. President John Dramani Mahama is assuring that in 14 days after his government is sworn in, he will constitute his cabinet so that things run. Yeah. We are not like the NPP. We are not like them. See, won't tell them that every Ghanaian will get a bank account. Ladies, every Ghanaian will have a toilet in the house.
So
today, their own tracker has tracked them and found that.
Okay, ladies. All right, so we have been, having a conversation on the news review segment, and these have been topics that have been actually shaping the political scene, especially as we draw nearer to the national elections coming up in December. And joining me in the studio was Naa Atswei Nee-Okpey, member of the National Communications team of the NDC, and Loratu Musasaka, who's a member of the National Communication of the NPP. Thank you so much, ladies. It's been amazing doing this with you. We have so much more to come, but let's take a quick break. We'll be back.